everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Today we have an exciting matchup between two teams looking to perform on a big stage. It's the Vikings going up against the Lions.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL sends us to the state of Michigan as we are inside Ford Field in downtown Detroit. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Ford Field tunnels, and the noise level in this place just about off the charts. They are set for football as the Lions get ready to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. For the 78th time, Thanksgiving Day football has come to Detroit, and we're underway from Ford Field. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. This is Theo Riddick. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he connects with Ebron. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And they pick up 20. As they convert on 3rd. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Riddick with a carry. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on 1st down.
They go back to Riddick. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. 9 yards still remaining here to pick up the first on 2nd down. Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. So the Lions go backwards there, and unfortunately that's something they saw a lot in 2015. They had the fewest rushing yards of any team in the NFL.
And it's one of those dubious titles that no one really wants to claim. Even teams who say, well, I'll worry about running it because we throw it all the time. Being able to...
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Everson Griffin in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. A few issues here on the offensive line. Apparently, he got sacked 5 times last week. They got to him here in the first quarter.
And I would think that running the ball would be paramount here because it's a different team they're facing, but they watch the film as well. So they'll take many of those same principles and try and apply them in this game to see if they fixed what was wrong with them in the last game.
They go play action here on first down. Sliding out of the pocket. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. Second down and 10. Throwing again. Bradford. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. So incomplete on second down. Now they'll look to convert here on third. The play fake to Cook. Here's Bradford. And he is out of bounds, getting it across the 30-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Now Bradford. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided to take a shot and right down the middle of the field, and really, they didn't give it as much time to develop, did they? They want to take that shot somewhere around the 15-yard mark.
And the defense able to recover, bat it free. A play fake. Bradford. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
On first and 10, Bradford. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Pass interference, defense.
Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
First down, Bradford. Eluding the pressure right. And he rifles one incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20 at the 15. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them.
And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Latavius Murray, his second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Ben Gideon not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Here's Riddick. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
He's got that one complete to Eddie Royal. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Again, it's Cook. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with third down and just a yard to go. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. A first down throw for Bradford. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Now Bradford. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to bring up a third down. Play action now. Bradford. He hits White. Complete. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. They'll run it now out of the gun. And some room to roam now. And he is going to feel that one. Knocked down hard. A nice run there, 9 yards. And it'll be second down. Now a second down throw for Bradford. Now he's going the other way. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
Well, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
The Vikings on third down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Bradford going with a screen for Murray. Good contain. No gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
I know you got a baseball background, right?
A little bit. Started in minor league ball.
Yeah, you did some of that, right? What do they do when they do the signals? An indicator, right?
Whether it goes or not, yeah.
Yeah, whether the play's on.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And we'll see what the decision is here as they've got a 4th and 1 coming up. Bradford to throw for it on 4th. Throw left side complete. It's Hodges. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. Bradford on first down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. They go play action. Now Bradford. And this is incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Bradford now. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. And this one is right down the middle. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So they get the field goal, but part of that was a 14-play drive to get the 3.
Normally, when you hold the ball that long, run that many plays, you end up in the end zone. There's a breakdown on the defense. Something happens. In this case, that didn't. But really good ball control by the offense. They're hoping that they can wear them down if they keep having drives like that.
The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And this is their 3rd drive. Maybe the focus right now not so much on points, but getting their first down.
And when you start off a game, you don't even think that's an issue, do you? But you go a drive, a second drive, no first down, that becomes an issue. Now you got to think about, okay, what type of play calling do I have to do to get us in a spot to pick that first one up?
The 15 yards there on the catch and run.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
To throw on second down is Stafford. And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
On the ground, it's Reddick. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Lions on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Now Stafford. It's caught. Jones. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Ebron with it over the middle. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. A very solid gain of 27.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run. As we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain at?
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Theo Riddick hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
So that drive goes 8 plays. And the capper that put it in the end zone, a run of 8 yards. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position now more than ever is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
That one 28 yards on the ground.
Well, last year, I'm not sure we saw very many of those runs, did we, from the Vikings? I mean, they had the poorest rushing attack in the league.
Just 75 yards per game, but carries like the one we just saw, that'll help bolster that average.
Yeah, certainly, and they tried to beef up the offensive line in the offseason, brought in Latavius Murray, and then drafted Dalvin Cook out of Florida State.
Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he's a big factor in the run game. No gain.
This is Murray. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Bradford from the gun on 3rd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hodges. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now Bradford on 4th down. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Lions will take over. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Alex Anzalone in there to bring him down, and it'll be a play to remember for that young man, the first sack of his NFL career.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely he's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Throwing is Stafford. It's caught by Royal. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. That one goes for 36 yards. Two minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. Coming up at halftime, remember, we'll get you out to Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of this first half. That is, of course, unless you decide to skip him.
And for the record, we do not encourage that.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he's brought down. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. That is caught at the 7. And he's brought down after a good gain. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. and the 8th play on this drive coming up. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call.
False start, offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Throwing again at Stafford. And it's caught at the 7-yard line. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. To the air again, Stafford. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Now Stafford on 3rd and goal. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Eric Ebron with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Lions are in for 6.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Prater on to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 1st half. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And this one's incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Off the play fake to Cook, here's Bradford. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this 1st half. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Out to the flat for Reddick. Give him 6 on the play there. And it's good enough for a Detroit 1st down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Here is Matt Prater now. He's got the leg for this as he holds the NFL record with a 64-yarder back in 2013. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. As we'll send you down to Orlando, where Larry Ridley has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Lions are happy to be in front right now and just want to play 2 more solid quarters. The Vikings won't panic either. They know they just need to take it 1 play at a time. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Vikings have it midway through 1. On the carry, it's Latavius Murray. And he'd cap off the 9-play drive with a TD. Lions with the ball midway through the second as they take a 7-0 lead. Riddick's going to bust out into the open space, and he'll go for the score. Lions have it at the 7, now trailing by just 3. Ebron's wide open, able to make the grab. And he cap off the long drive with a touchdown. The Lions go up by 4.
All right, Larry, thank you. A fairly tight game here as we get set to resume play in this second half. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he powers his way up past the 30. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 4. On play action, Bradford. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
If you run an out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Bradford to throw it. Now a hit, and the ball comes out. Bradford has lost it. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
First down, Bradford looking for White on the deep ball. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. It's the 2014 NFL interception leader, Glover Quinn. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost like they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Jones. And all the way to the opposite 49-yard line. It's a big play there for the Lions. 42 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Here's Stafford now on second down. And Owen coughed it up. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about this training camp.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. To throw on second down. Stafford going for it all. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the return won't go anywhere. They'll be back deep in their own territory at the 2-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Second down, 8. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. A play fake. Bradford. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, and it'll bring up third down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. A first down throw for Bradford. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a second down. They'll throw again. Bradford flushed out right. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Darius Slay with a pick.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Stafford to the right side to Eric Ebron. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Stafford. It's caught. Eddie Royal. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
From the gun, here's Stafford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Sharif Floyd breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. And he hits his tight end, Ebron. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard carry. It does put him just a few yards short of the goal line, but 4th down coming up.
I can't say that I was really in love with the play call there. A draw in that situation, I know it's a risk-reward call. If it works, he walks in. But otherwise, you're bringing up a really tough 4th down situation.
So he missed a field goal earlier, but he says not this time, and he's able to knock it through to give his guys 3.
And that's all you want as a kicker, a chance to redeem yourself. You got to have a short memory if you're going to survive at this level, and he's able to get back on track.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And out now come the Vikings. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Now Bradford on 2nd down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the linebacker, Jared Davis. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Well, this has just been obviously a dreadful day for him throwing the football. Now 4 interceptions. This one leads to 6 points going the other direction. Tough.
Yeah, it is, and this feels old school to me because you never really took out your starting quarterback back in the good old days. No matter what was going on, he was your guy, and you rode him for better or for worse. In today's football, usually we got a backup who's warmed up and has come into the game, so you can see an old school approach here that's not really benefiting them at this point.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up close.
And my goodness, another interception. It's the 2014 NFL interception leader, Glover Quinn, and he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. So that right there was his second pick, but keep in mind, this is a guy who once had a rare 3-interception game in his career.
So what are you saying, that getting 2 in a game, that's like kid stuff for him? That's nothing. He's already
Amateur
done that,
hour.
right? Been there, done that. You know he wants a third again.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. After the interception, here's Stafford. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Linval Joseph in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Yeah, nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets them back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Third and long, it's Stafford. He finds his target, Royal. And he is out of bounds, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. Give him 30 yards there. It only took Stafford 90 games to hit 25,000 yards in his career, fastest ever, and he adds to that yardage total there.
I'm not sure anyone in the league has a more confident arm than Matthew Stafford does. He can wait until they're actually open before delivering, as opposed to anticipating them being open because of the strength of his arm. And he
takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead.
This is similar to baseball, where you walk the leadoff hitter and you don't expect him to come around and score. Almost impossible. Anytime a defense has to defend a short field, you usually end up seeing the result we saw, giving up points.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And now running right through it. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And an alley to run. And it's a big turnover there on the final play of the quarter. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. And Detroit getting set to go now. Well, these guys hardly got a chance to catch their breath after the quick turnover, but I doubt they're complaining much.
Especially with the field position they get to start with. I wouldn't be complaining either. I'd want to get right back out there and get after them, because now you have an opportunity to make a big play. I'd say let's be aggressive and go after him.
And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Defense showing blitz. Now they'll give this one to the up man, Jerome Felton. And he'll take this one down to the 36. They get 1 yard back there to make it 2nd and 14.
That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defensive coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stafford caught on the right side by Jones. Touchdown, Detroit. second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And thanks to the interception, the Lions offense cashes in with 6. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Special when you got a guy going off like this. I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the
too.
whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden, because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkey leg performances with his second touchdown there. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
They juked him. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best and knowing that taking...
And now here is another interception. It's the rookie from Florida, Tease Tabor, and he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. With that interception, he just set a record that nobody ever wants to set, and that's the most picks ever in an NFL game. 8.
The last time we saw 7, 2001, right?
Yeah.
Ty Detmer. He's with the Lions at that time. To get to 8, are we sure he knows what color jerseys his team's wearing in this one?
I don't know. It has not been good. And down inside the 15 he goes. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. And the defense definitely showing blitz here. Play action. Stafford. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. To throw again, Bradford. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So call off the pick 6.
Everything looked right. It looked like it was in their favor. Returned it for a touchdown, as you just described. But instead, the penalty for interference nullifies everything.
Throwing, Bradford. It's grabbed over the middle by White. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. To throw, Bradford. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does, is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's Bradford. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. The Vikings on third down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Bradford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Haloti Ngata in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question. And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild, and at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. 4th quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction, and that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, it cost him big time. Still leading, but it costs him. Bradford now to throw on 1st down. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Now a 2nd down throw for Bradford. He completes it right side to White. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 36 yards. Bradford on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Ezekiel Ansah in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. Bradford now from the 50. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
I'm trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Bradford hitting Thielen there for a Viking first. 1st down, Bradford. Looking for White on the deep ball. And now here is another interception. Nevin Lawson with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage. They've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They start the drive with Abdullah. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Shift together here from the D-line. Now Riddick. And a decent move, but brought down quickly just outside of the 5-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Now a play fake it at Stafford. And he connects with Ebron. And they're going to get this one up past the 25. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And to give this time to the tailback. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
It'll be a gain of 2. And speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. The Lions on third down. They've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Stafford. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Alex Anzalone able to disrupt yet another pass play. His 3rd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
This is taken at the 18. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. And now out comes Minnesota. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's White. And they'll get it all the way out near midfield to the 45. 23 yards on the play. On 1st and 10, Bradford. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll make it 2nd down. They'll throw again. Bradford. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call. And
you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
To the air again with Bradford. Over the middle, complete. It's White. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
To throw is Bradford. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And this one incomplete. So the clock stopped now with 20 seconds remaining.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions, that confident veneer that you have. It's chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, underthrowing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. Desperation time. Bradford on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 30. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. They go play action here on 1st down. Now a desperation throw. And my goodness, another interception. Nevin Lawson with a pick. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. And this looks to probably be the final play. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points.